Welcome. Today's lesson is a follow-up of our last lesson. We're going to stick with powers of 10, and the learning target is the same. I can use powers of 10 to write numbers in expanded form. So let's get to it. All right, we're going to have our chart here, our powers of 10 chart. We can refer back to it. So if we need to find out what 100,000 is written in exponential form, we can look right here and see that it's 10 to the fifth power. Any power of 10 we need, we can see in expanded form. All right, let's do the first problem. Our first number is 9,358. So in expanded form, you got it. 9,000 plus 300 plus 50 plus 8, right? 9 in the thousands place, that's 9 groups of 1,000. 3 in the hundreds place, that's 3 groups of 100. A 5 in the tens place is 5 groups of 10. And 8 in the ones place is 8 groups of 1. Now, let's use our powers of 10 to rewrite this number in another version of expanded form. Okay? 9,000. Well, that's 9 groups of 1,000, like we just said. So that's 9 groups of 1,000. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. Let's keep going. 300. Well, that's 3 groups of 100. So 3 groups of 100. All right. Let's add to that our 5 groups of 10. Okay. 5 groups of 10. That's 50. And our 8 groups of 1. 8 groups of 1. So now we have used powers of 10 to write this number in expanded form. Let's go ahead now and turn these powers of 10 into their exponential version, their exponential name, right? So 1,000, what is that in exponential form? Well, if you don't know, you come over here and look at your chart. 1,000, that's 10 times 10 is 100 times 10 is 1,000. 3 tenths, that's 10 to the third power. So let's head back to our slide and let's write that down. Let's see. 1,000 was 10 to the third power, and that's going to be times 9. 9 times 10 to the third is 9 times 1,000, which is 9,000, which is 9 in the thousands place. These are all the same. Okay, let's keep going. 100, that's 10 to the second power. So we'll add to that 3 times 10 to the second power. And then let's see here. A 10 by itself is 5 times 10 to the first power. And then we'll add 8 times 10 to the 0 power, because we memorized last time that 10 to the 0 power is just 1. Any number to the 0 power is just 1. So that's the same as 8 times 1. The same as 8 times 1, which is the same as 8, which is the same as 8 ones. Okay, now, I just wanted to point out one pattern. Now, we talked about patterns last time in the number of zeros, right? So let's take 100, for example. Let's take 100, for example, right? There are 1, 2 zeros in 100. They come from the 1, 2 zeros and the 2 tens that we multiply together, and that is our exponent 2. The exponent in exponential form tells us how many tens are multiplied together, right? That's what an exponent does. But it also tells us, like 10 to the fifth power, how many zeros are in standard form. 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros in 100,000. So if we go back to our problem here, check this out. We don't need to go back to the chart. If I know that pattern, I can just say, let's say in 1,000, 1, 2, 3 zeros in 1,000. So that's going to be 10 to the third power. 1, 2 zeros in 100, that's 10 to the second power. 1 zero in 10, that's 10 to the first. And look at this, no zeros in 1, no zero, a 0 in the exponent place, no tens. Let's try that on the next slide. Here we go. This problem here, 20,647. Let's just get right down to it. In expanded form, let's see, that's 20,000 plus nothing in the 1,000s place. So we can skip right to the hundreds, plus 600 plus 40 plus 7. All right. So Let's use our powers of 10. 20,000, that's two groups of 10,000. So 2 times 10,000 plus 600 is 6 groups of 100, plus 40, that's 4 groups of 10, plus 7, that's 7 groups of 1. Okay, we've used powers of 10 to write this number in expanded form. Let's go ahead now and turn those powers of 10 into their exponential form. But let's not look back at the chart. Let's use the pattern we know. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in 10,000. So that means that's 10 to the 4th power. 2 times 10 to the 4th power. And 1, 2 zeros in 100. So that's going to be 6 times 10 to the 2nd power, because there's 2 zeros there. And let's add to that 4 times, let's see, 1 0 and 10, 10 to the 1st power. And let's add to that, oh, I don't see any zeros. Yeah, so it's 7 times 10 to the 0 power. That's a 0 right there. Let's, well, I'll leave it alone for now. Okay, so let's do one more. Our last review problem for today, 408,919. Are you ready? All right, in regular expanded form, that is 400,000 plus 8,000. Notice there's no number, no digit, there's a 0 in the 10,000s place. So that means there's no 10,000s. Plus 900, so that's 900 plus 10 plus 9. Okay, let's break that out into our powers of 10. Let's see, how many groups of 100,000 do we have? Looks like we have 4 times 100,000, or 4 groups of 100,000, plus 8 groups of 1,000, plus 9 groups of 100, plus 1 group of 10, plus 9 groups of 1. Whew, I barely fit that in. All right, now let's use our exponential form of these powers of 10. Let's go to our pattern. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros in 100,000. So I know that's going to be 10 to the 5th power, because the exponent tells me how many zeros are going to be in that standard form of the number, that power of 10, right? So let's see, that's 4 times 10 to the 5th power, plus, let's see here, 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that's 8 times 10 to the 3rd power. Let's see, erase that there. Plus 9 times 10 squared, or 10 to the 2nd power, because there's 1, 2 zeros there. Plus 1 times, let's see here, 1 0 means it's going to be 10 to the 1st power, because 1 is my exponent. And then finally, no zeros here, right? So that's 9 times 10 to the 0 power. All right, that's good review. You're going to practice this same exact skill in your practice work. Let me know if you need help.